My name is George LaMoureaux. I work at Alaska Sales and Service as a sales consultant, and I was on the west side of the parking lot at approximately 3:35 in the afternoon, maybe 3:37. At that point in time, we saw a plane going up. A customer of mine pointed at it. We both looked at it as it stalled, and then took a nosedive into the west end of Merrill Field. At that point in time, I told my customers to get in. We're going over there. We drove to the barbed wire fence, which was 10 or 12 feet tall, closest to where the airplane had crashed. I scaled the fence, jumped over the top, came down, and ran over to the plane. Immediately I could see there was a small fire and there was someone inside. I hollered at the person inside, but he was not conscious. At that point in time, I tried pulling him out. It was unsuccessful because they were pried in. At that point in time, I pushed the wings forward in order to uncollapse the plane as best I could, and then a woman fell down out of the back of the compartment on top of the man, at which point in time I tried pulling her out. She was crushed in there too. Then I saw a man, actually two, that had come from the east side of the airfield running, and told them I need fire extinguishers. At that point, they rifled through the planes on the south side of the west end of the airport, and found one. They brought it over to me. I ran into the flames, which had now increased to substantially larger proportions, and started putting them out. But knowing that the plane wings were full of fuel, I emptied the entire fire extinguisher, and the fire was still raging. At that point, police officers showed up on the scene, and then they came towards me, and I told them to run back and get more fire extinguishers as the plane was about to explode. And at that point, they came out with fire extinguishers, and I emptied them into the plane. At that point, the officers and fire department had come there and were pulling the couple out of the plane. They had dragged the man about 40 feet to the southwest of the plane on his back and began CPR. At that point, they were able to pull the woman out, and I told the other firemen as I ran back to the plane to check for a third person. There was not a third person. At that point, I ran back over to the man as the fire was completely out at that point, but the fire department had come there with their hose, and there was no fire remaining, thank God. Unfortunately, however, the officers and fire department that were trying to revive by CPR were unsuccessful. Shortly thereafter, an officer came to me and told me that neither one of the occupants of the plane had made it, and they had both passed away. And I said, God bless them, and may God, Jesus Christ, take them in heaven.